I get it, you're scrolling through a sea of glossy photos, every ice bin looking sleek, every speck promising endless snowflake cubes for your bar or catering setup, and then the moment it arrives the size is wrong, the ice melts faster than you can scoop it, and you're left with a pricey block of stainless steel that just sits there. That's the nightmare that keeps a lot of buyers on the fence, especially when you're trying to balance a budget with a need for reliable, high-capacity ice. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video I'm going to walk through what the Hoshizaki B700SF actually brings to the table, where it shines, where it trips up, and help you decide if it belongs in your kitchen or if you should keep looking. First off, the B700SF is a 700-pound ice storage bin with a stainless steel exterior. That's a lot of ice. Think of a busy restaurant during a dinner rush, a banquet hall serving hundreds of guests, or a sports bar that never stops. The sheer volume means you can keep a steady supply without constantly refilling, which translates into less downtime for the ice maker and a smoother service flow. In real-world terms, I've seen a medium-sized pizzeria that used a 250-pound bin and had to call their ice machine every 30 minutes. Switching to a 700-pound bin let them go an entire shift without a single refill, freeing the staff to focus on pizzas instead of ice scoops. But that capacity comes with a hidden trade-off: weight. The bin itself is built to hold 700 pounds of ice, so when it's full you're dealing with a solid slab that can easily tip a cart if not properly secured. The stainless steel frame is sturdy, yet you'll need a sturdy floor and a plan for moving it. For a commercial kitchen with a rolling dock or a dedicated ice station, that isn't a problem. Just roll it onto a pallet jack and you're good. In a home bar or a small CAF with limited floor space, the sheer mass makes it a logistical nightmare. If you don't have a designated area and a way to roll it in and out, you'll spend more time wrestling the bin than actually serving drinks. Another practical point is how the bin handles ice melt. With that much ice, you inevitably get some meltwater pooling at the bottom. The B700SF has a sloped interior that channels water toward a drain, but the drain's capacity is only as good as your kitchen's plumbing. In a test kitchen where the drain was connected to a standard sink, the water emptied fine, but in a venue with a slower drain line you start seeing a shallow pool that needs to be wiped out every few hours. That's not a deal-breaker, but it does add a small maintenance step that some operators overlook until it becomes a slip hazard. If you're installing this in a place with a robust drainage system, you'll barely notice. If not, plan for a quick mop routine. Now, who really benefits from the B700SF? If you run a high-volume operation, think catering companies that need to prep for large events, hotels with multiple bars, or a stadium concession stand, this bin's size is a genuine asset. The ability to store a night's worth of ice in one container means you can pull a larger batch from the ice maker, keep it at a consistent temperature, and avoid the ice maker incessant noise that can be a distraction during a quiet dinner service. For these users, the value isn't in the specs alone, it's in the operational smoothness that comes from not having to run the maker constantly. Conversely, if you're a home enthusiast, a small coffee shop, or a boutique bakery that only needs a few pounds of ice a day, the B700SF is overkill. The upfront cost, the space it occupies, and the extra effort to keep the meltwater in check outweigh the convenience of having a massive ice reserve. A smaller, countertop bin would serve the same purpose with far less hassle. The B700SF also lacks built-in temperature control. It relies on the ambient environment to keep ice solid. In a hot warehouse that isn't climate-controlled, you could see the ice softening faster than you'd like, which defeats the purpose of a large storage bin. From a practical standpoint, the stainless steel exterior does more than look good. It resists corrosion better than painted steel, which is a real win in a damp environment where condensation is a constant. I've seen lower-priced bins where the coating peels after a few months, leading to rust spots that are both unsightly and a hygiene issue. The B700SF's finish stayed pristine through several weeks of heavy use, even when the kitchen floor was being mopped right next to it. That said, stainless steel can be a double-edged sword. It shows fingerprints and water spots easily, so you'll need to wipe it down regularly to keep the shine. One criticism that pops up in user forums is the lack of an integrated ice scoop.